In Lagos, the Lagos Environmental Sanitation Corps, known as CAI, has arrested individuals for obstructing pedestrian bridges and for the unlawful conversion of government properties. These actions include sleeping under the bridges and using them for other purposes rather than their intended function. In some cases, individuals have been sentenced to prison for these offenses. For example, 27 people were sentenced to 5 months in prison for unlawfully converting pedestrian bridges, while 15 were sentenced to 3 months for obstructing pedestrians. Here is a more detailed breakdown. Unlawful conversion. The CAI has prosecuted and jailed individuals for using pedestrian bridges for purposes other than their intended function, such as sleeping under the bridge or using them for occupation. 2. Obstruction. Individuals have been arrested and prosecuted for obstructing pedestrians on the bridges, such as using the bridges for purposes other than their pedestrian crossing. Enforcement. The Lagos State is actively enforcing regulation regarding the use of pedestrian bridges, with officials like the Commissioner of Environment and Water Resources.
See, this is one of the bridges that resonates with me properly because I myself have had an experience on this particular bridge, and that is why I came to this particular one to make this video. There are several bridges in Lagos, especially on the island, that has this kind of problem, but I realized that this one resonates with me properly. Let me tell you a story. There was a time we went for a shoot at Ikate, and while coming back, it was too late and it was raining. We decided to take shelter under the bridge right here, and when we got to this place, trust me, there were a lot of area boys, and we almost lost our camera, our mic, and our phones. The only way we had to get away from this was giving them the money, the cash that was with us. And this wasn't even 12 in the midnight. This was just 8 p.m. or rather to 8 in the night, and this was what really happened. It was so painful that the cash with us, we had to even use a different means of transportation to get home. So imagine in a situation like this, if I wasn't in Nigeria or if I wasn't being tough and also with my friends who are also guys, imagine if I was alone, what could have happened? So because of the influence of my friends and the mindset that comes when people are more, so I felt stronger and I decided to fight back, and we only lost the cash that was with us, which we just had to give to them so that they could let us be. And immediately the rain stopped, we had to come down from the bridge and look for a means of transportation. We really explained to the driver who actually took us on that we don't have cash, but if he can actually take us home and we'll give him money or make a transfer to him, he accepted. We made the transfer, and that was how we were able to get out of this situation. So don't worry, let me show you more on this bridge.
These are the penalties. Individuals found guilty of these offenses may face penalties, including prison sentences, as seen in cases where individuals were sentenced to 5 months or 3 months in prison. The operative of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps and the Kick Against Indiscipline Squad in Lagos State conducted clearance operation on the pedestrian bridges at Ikate, Elegushi, and Agungi along Aja area. 12 miscreants were arrested for sleeping on the bridge and inside the opening under the bridge at Ikate, Elegushi. The pedestrian bridge have been cleaned by men of the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency, known as LASMA, and it is now safe for use.
You see, right here I'm staying is the Ikate flyover bridge. This is one of the many bridges in Lagos that has been occupied with a lot of trash and homeless people sleeping on this bridge. It is not because they are homeless that making me make this video, but for some reason now, the Lagos State government has started arresting people who sleep on the bridge and also make sure they get arrested. But now the question is, if you arrest these people, where are you going to take them to? And that is the reason why I'm making this video, to discover and also show you the reason behind this.
In spite of hundreds of mansions abandoned or unoccupied in Nigeria, over 108 million people are said to be technically homeless and living under bridges in the open across the country. In this report, let's take a look at the pathetic world of Lagos underbridge dwellers. It was 11:45 p.m., a time most night traders under the popular Apongo Bridge on Lagos Island had closed for the day. But it was a time for other Nigerians to resume duty in the empty market space. Now, this is where the story gets even more sketchy. One of the 62 miscreants arrested during a raid at Oshodi and its environs by the Lagos State Task Force disclosed that they pay 100 naira every day just to sleep under the bridge. Another person, known as Benga Ololade, who is 38 years of age, who came from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, said he had been sleeping under Oshodi Bridge for 2 years, saying he was initiated into cultism with a particular tattoo on his face by their group leader under the bridge. The raid, according to the chairman of the task force, CSP Yinka Agbeyin, was part of ongoing effort to flush out miscreants and other criminal elements out of Oshodi in particular and in the state in general, adding that it was done on the directive of the Lagos State Commissioner of Police. He also said many of them have different tattoos on their arms, indicating that they belong to a particular sect or cult. Others chain smokers, among them rob residents and pedestrians of their valuables, such as phones, wallets, and jewelries, early in the morning and also late at night. The chairman added that the suspects were screened, during which the minors, who were between 12 and 17 years, were referred to the juvenile homes for rehabilitation, informing that the suspect has been charged to court on the directive of Egbeyin, who also hinted that after the completion of all ongoing projects by Lagos State government around Oshodi, there will be no longer be any hideout for criminals to unleash terror on innocent members of the public. Meanwhile, 18 traders earlier arrested around Trade Fair Complex along the Mile 2 Badagry Expressway, but released following their undertaking with the task force not to return to selling at unauthorized places, have been rearrested and charged to court again.
You might all know that people sleeping on the bridge boost insecurities, because you won't be able to use this bridge at night because you become so scared that you might get mobbed or taken of your properties. Anyways, that's why I'm making this video, to show you guys and also let you know that most of these people here are hawkers and they are mostly homeless. Now the Lagos State government has started arresting them. Previously they arrested 72 people, and these people are being arrested just because they sleep over the bridge.